distinguished guests, the excellence grades on the validation scorecard have not also come as a surprise, because we have a president who has set very high standards for every scorecard, that Sierra Leone must have high passing marks, like we did for the MCC scorecard. And transparency and accountability in the extractive sector also is not by accident. It is because we have a true champion for the fight for transparency and accountability, not just in the extractive sector, but also in the fight against corruption. Therefore, it's now my pleasure to invite His Excellency the President for a response.
Thank you very much, the Honorable Vice President, Ministers of Government, Heads of NDAs, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. I will start by congratulating the EITI validation team members for their great diligence. I'm so happy to clap. I've not finished my speech. For your great diligence in seeing through this successful validation. Thank you. You have made this country proud. Now you can clap. To the Honorable Vice President, your direct oversight of the process has been invaluable. I urge my ministers to emulate such sterling leadership so our nation will continue meeting and exceeding other critical international benchmarks and commitments. Thank you for your oversight. Sierra Leone continues to be a committed member of the Extractive Industry Transparency Initiative. We remain so because, as a government, we have made transparency and accountability a hallmark of governance. Little wonder then that the Millennium Challenge Corporation of the United States, for a fourth time in a row, graded us among the top performing nations in Africa for the hard control of corruption indicator. We believe that there should be a full disclosure along the entire extractive industry's value chain, from how extraction rights are awarded, how revenue make their way through government, to how revenues benefit the public. Our commitment to EITI therefore improves accountability in the governance of the sector. It supports reforms my government has implemented over the last 4 years, including strengthening licensing, tax collection systems, and legal and fiscal frameworks. Our collective objective, as I have stated, in various engagements on the extractive sector, is not only to enhance the entire investment ecosystem, but to also signal to investors and the international financial institutions that my government and my country are ready for patient and long-term investors. As indicated by previous speakers, Sierra Leone, through its participation in the EITI, joins 55 other countries that have agreed to the EITI standards, a common set of rules governing what has to be disclosed and when. My government also welcomes that the EITI is an inclusive multi-stakeholder platform that also involves government, companies, and civil society to collectively disclose and map out issues of transparency and accountability in order to promote good governance in the extractive sector. I'm pleased that this is working well in Sierra Leone, and this has been acknowledged by international assessors. Indeed, achieving a high score of 87.5 is truly remarkable and must be celebrated. And I hope, Mr. Vice President, the celebration should not just stop with the clapping. However, I urge us as a country to continue to improve on the areas where we have yet to make a rapid progress. There are a few areas highlighted, and as we strive as a nation to be a great nation, and we can do it, that is what I want to inspire everybody to believe in. This week alone, we have been, highlighted as a nation that is doing great things for women, for education, for investment in people, and you must have heard about the MCC scores. I believe that we can improve contract transparency, systematic disclosure of production and export data, beneficial ownership, and license allocation process. These additional reforms will improve overall transparency and accountability in the sector. So while I commend the Sleti multi-stakeholder group and Secretariat for the exceptional work in achieving these unprecedented outcomes, I wish to urge them to address these areas I have highlighted. As a government, we note and we are fully committed to implementing validation corrective actions proposed in the assessment. We will make sure, and I'm sure, through Madam Peggy and the Vice President, we will score even better the next time. We will also actively consider the strategic recommendations from the report. We also commit to a number of overarching reforms that will enhance the sustainability of the SLETI process. A standalone SLETI bill and financial support for its operation are clear priorities for this government. Regular communication about SLETI implementation process will support transparency and consistent engagement with all stakeholders. I can see you have quite a lot of stakeholders. So the engagement is very important, and we encourage that all stakeholders maintain their interest in the process. Beyond these steps, and in compliance with EITI requirements, Sierra Leone can work towards embedding into its work system disclosures, of data in routine government and company systems. We can develop a coherent policy on contract disclosures in order to fully implement the corrective action required under the EITI standard. I also urge the National Mineral Agency, NMA, the Ministry of Mines and Mineral Resources, and the Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development, Local Government and Community Affairs, to work closely in order to promote greater transparency and accountability of sub-national transfers, Diamond Area Community Development Funds, and other sub-national payments can be displayed on their websites and other open data platforms. I'm hopeful that our development partners and international institutions can support our successes in this sector. At a time of global economic uncertainty, when multilateral and bilateral support are being scaled down, we deem the timely production and dissemination of the annual EITI report as pivotal to attracting the right investors in that sector. This is central to our vision of promoting investment, creating jobs, supporting community resilience, and enhancing the inclusive, transparent, and sustainable economy. The early indication from this unprecedented assessment is that we are on our way there, and we should get there. We will continue to be better and even do better. On that note, I thank you all for your attention.
Thank you very much.